Among the blessings that we read this morning, Baruch atah ba'ir, Baruch atah b'sadeh. Blessed shall you be in the city. Blessed shall you be in the country. Blessed shall be the issue from your womb, the produce of the soil, the offspring of your cattle, the calving of your herd, the lambing of your flock. Blessed shall be in your basket and your kneading bowl. Clearly, the Torah is speaking to what we call an agrarian society. Amongst the students with us here today, we know that the agricultural revolution, sometimes called the Neolithic Revolution, took place 11,700 years ago. And amongst the domestication of crops and of the animals, especially the sheep, the goats, the cow, and the chicken, also developed religion, writing, settlements, the ability to have other people do work for us while others did the thinking and the designing and building of new things. The rabbinic Judaism that came after that was also quite agrarian. Most of the mitzvot, if you think about it, revolve around our staple crops and grapes and wine and of the animals. The rituals when the temple was around was even around the animals. That is until the next revolution, this Industrial Revolution, 1760. Because Judaism came about and matured during this long agricultural era, the Industrial Revolution was going to bring and did tremendous challenge to what Judaism was going to be about. Because as scholars say, the revolution, the Industrial Revolution, brought freedom and prosperity to millions. It created opportunities for migration and really gave people the independence to choose their own ideas and not just be part of a collective for their survival. Could Judaism adapt to this new drastic human reality? The answer was yes. There is enough in our tradition that speaks to humanity that with adaptation, Judaism did survive the Industrial Revolution. Some of the changes are relatively small, like could you have machine-made matzah as opposed to the handmade that was made for centuries? And others were major, like the rise of the denominations, Reform, and the Conservative. And even Hasidism is a product of the Industrial Revolution because it spoke to, in Yiddish, the Praster Yid, the basic Jew, the one who might even be illiterate, saying that Judaism is for you in this new age where individuality matters. And then, as we also learned in school, history sped up after the Industrial Revolution because now we are in the midst, and really the vast midst, of the information revolution. And of course, the pinnacle of that right now, at least, is artificial intelligence. AI will no doubt bring great benefits to us, but we're realizing quite quickly the challenges that it brings to our societies and to Judaism and religion in general. How is AI going to change Judaism? Will it be able to survive? Always that question. Books and courses have already been written and developed. The philosophical landscape is present. But still, yes, much is unknown, and we have to grapple with the issues because they are here today. Like the Industrial Revolution, some of the questions are small. For example, Can you have a Torah scroll that is written by a robot? It has been done already before. Giving a quill and ink to a robot, it can write the entire Torah. Is that Torah fit for ritual use? Most people are saying no, because Judaism is a religion for humans. It is how we humans find meaning in our world and our hearts and minds. The rabbis teach that mitzvot need kavanah. It's not just the act of writing alone. We have to have intention and meaning behind it. Why do we use a handwritten scroll to read from the Torah? Because that's what Moses used to produce the first Torah. And a scribe, if you ever meet them, they are supposed to have that in their mind. The Shem Mitzvot Torah. They have to say that each time before they pick up the quill. And some even say they have to go to a mikveh. They have to find a purity of mind. We can't do that if a human didn't write the Torah. But now they're getting much more complex, the questions, because we're asking about the existential status of the artificial intelligence itself. What do we consider intelligent machines to be? Are they persons or are they machines? The debate is here already. And of course, you find Jews on both sides. That's a good thing, by the way, that the rabbis of the Talmud gave us. We need to have people arguing both sides so that we make sure we get as close to a right answer, if such exists, by examining it all. So who is on the side of machines can be persons? One of them is David Zvi Kamen, a Jewish thinker who runs a program called Sinai and Synapses, which explores the nexus of science, technology, and religion. He seriously says that machines should have some level of personhood. What does that mean? His argument is that we, in some ways, are being in God's image by creating machines in our image. And so to elevate the machine as sort of a children of humankind and giving it some personhood actually is something that we should do. He recognizes that there's some dangers because, if you've seen in many movies, can these machines do evil? Can we program them to do evil? And then what about human imperfection? Well, at the moment, machines are still quite imperfect, like their creators. But soon, perhaps, soon likely, they might be more perfect than the human beings. They could write a cleaner Torah and repeat it every time. No shaking of the hand, no mistakes. So that leaves us on the other side. Rabbi Josh Fixler, a technologically oriented rabbi who likes to program apps, but he also serves a congregation in Houston. He says that actually we humans are considering ourselves machine too much. We unplug, he says. He doesn't like that term. He doesn't like terms that consider us to just be machines and cogs in our labor system. He wants us to remember we are human relations, human before we are capital. And so he says that Judaism needs to maintain our humanity and that actually it can be used to help us get through and go through and adapt to AI. It is true that our intelligence makes us human. I think, therefore I am. So it's tempting to say, well, artificial intelligence thinks, therefore it is. But he says, really think down deep, in humans is much more than intelligence. It's intelligence created by God. We can't create humans. We need semen, an egg, and a human womb. We cannot do anything. Yes, we have incubators and things like that, but we have not, and I don't think we're going to get ever close to, having to take a fertilized egg and put it in some artificial system, artificial womb. That is all God's work. And we are a body. We are flesh and blood to go along with our intellect. Artificial intelligence doesn't have that. So I agree right now with Rabbi Fixler. Judaism should be a rehumanizing project. The mitzvot and the commandments should rehumanize us. We are not just here to survive and consume. So we're not just animals, but we are invited to live our lives of meaning and purpose and connection. And that's where our mind and body intersect and our communities intersect. And so we have to remember that Shabbat is a rehumanizing project, as he says. Prayer is a rehumanizing project. It holds space for our emotions. Does AI really feel love or loss? I know there are plenty of movies and TV shows, but at the moment, they don't. But we humans do. Fixler's best line is that machines can learn, but humans can grow. So whether we are ready or not, we have to adapt to the information revolution. AI is developing super fast. ChatGPT was just a novelty a few years ago. Now schools and companies are grappling with the benefits and the challenges. Perhaps we need to stand between mountains, like we read about in this week's Torah portion, and pronounce the blessings and curses, and make an AI covenant, saying we will find its blessings, adapt to our humanity, but make sure that the curses of AI don't come true. Shabbat Shalom.